Good morning, everybody. Today is Saturday, May 28th. I'm actually on my way to Pittsburgh. I thought now might be the perfect time to do this little video. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of thinking over the last few days, and I just want to say, what a weird-ass time to be alive. You know, there's a lot of weird stuff, a lot of hypocritical stuff going on in this country that I'm just wondering if anyone else thinks the same as me, you know. Half the country cries that the other half is racist, and the very people who are calling the other half racist support the party of the KKK. And they support the party who more or less wanted to keep slaves, who started the KKK, who started trying to get more black people to have abortions. It don't make no sense to me, right? Then you got these people who are so pro-American that if a company, even if they supported the company before, or if they buy from the company rather, but they're so pro-American that if a company makes an ad and says something that goes against their own beliefs, they're going to try to boycott that company. They're going to quit buying their products. They're going to throw away some of their own shit that they went out and bought with their own hard-earned money, because they won't support that company no more because they are so pro-American. Yet, if you go through their own tool shed and their own toolbox, half the stuff in their toolbox they got from Harbor Freight, which is all made in China, right? That don't make sense. How are you gonna be so pro-American that you hate, you know, Nike or, you know, I don't know. I try not to. I don't follow any of that crap, but I hear it. You know, I see it on social media, and you know, every day someone's boycotting something else for whatever reason. You know, and another thing, there are so many people who are anti-capitalism, but they themselves are entrepreneurs who own their own businesses. Some of them bringing in $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year, but they hate capitalism, yet their whole lives benefit from capitalism, right? Some of these same people believe that the reason the poor are poor is because the rich are rich. Which, if you look up anything with economics, you'll know that that's not true. But you hate billionaires because they're billionaires. You hate these billionaires because they got so much money and more money than they can ever spend. Even though most billionaires give millions and millions and millions of dollars to charity every year, more money than you've ever made in your lifetime. But the same people who hate capitalism and are bringing in, you know, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year because of capitalism don't donate nothing, anything. Or it's like, you know, $5 here, $10 there. How does that make sense? You're going to hate somebody because he has $10 billion, who also donates $500 million a year. Yet, on the same system, that same system allowed you to create a revenue of, you know, $500,000 a year. But you don't give nothing away. You want to live in a socialist environment where, you know, everybody has the same amount of everything, but you're not giving your money to the poor. What are you doing with your money? You know, you're not giving anything away. You're just hating on someone because they got more than you. Don't matter how hard they work for their money or how little they work for their money. It's their money. And I guarantee you, if you have your own business and you're making a couple hundred or $500,000 or even $1 million a year, you are trying everything in your power to not pay the actual percentage of taxes that the government wants you to pay. You're looking for every loophole. You're paying an accountant to look for every loophole so that you don't have to pay your fair share. But when a billionaire does the same thing, you cry that that's unfair and they should be paying more and they should be charged, buku percentage rates for taxes because there's poor people in the world and they deserve that money. That don't make no sense. Then we got the people who every day cry about police brutality and, cops killing people, even though they got a gun pointed at the cops and shooting at the cops. They cry about police brutality. You could have shot him in the leg, or you could have did this, you could have done that. Which I also don't like police brutality. I think they need better training, and I honestly can't stand the cops. But then turn around and say that nobody should be allowed to own guns except for the police. How does that make sense? If the police need more training because they're out there killing unarmed people every day, why the hell would you not want to be armed yourself to protect yourself against criminals and police alike? I should say crooked police. But how are you going to want to take the guns out of the hands of the citizens and only allow the cops to have them, even though the cops are out here shooting unarmed people every day? Do you even understand what you're saying? You want only the cops to have guns. Do you realize what kind of society we would live in if only the police were allowed to have guns? Then you got these people who they look up to celebrities. And anytime a celebrity comes on TV and says something or goes on social media and says something, you take their word like fact. You believe everything they say and support everything they say. Then turn around and criticize people who literally spend hours researching real true facts and say they don't know what they're talking about, or call them conspiracy theorists, even though they themselves put hours and hours and hours into researching certain topics. So you believe anything that comes out of the mouth of a celebrity, and everything that comes out of the mouth of a conspiracy theorist is bullshit, right? Just like the fact checkers on Facebook, anything that goes against what they're saying is wrong and proven wrong, even though there's no evidence to back it up. We have the internet, which is full of literally, I'd say at least 95% of the information in the entire world. Anything that's ever been studied, taught, learned can be found online. But you criticize those people for finding information online and saying it's bullshit because they found it online. How does that make sense? You know what? There are people who have created their businesses entirely from scratch based on learning how to do something through YouTube. My own wife will change the headlights on her car because a YouTube video taught her how to do it. I actually, a big part of my own business is because of things I researched on YouTube and found out how to do things on YouTube and learned from other people who have done it before me. And that's how we pass information to those who are after us, is by documenting how we've done certain things. We record it, we document it, we put it online for the world to see, then the next person can learn from it. But if you watch those videos and study what was learned, study what the last guy studied, they're saying it's BS because it's online and you can't believe everything you read online. Which that is true, because there is a lot of false information out there. There's a lot of bullshit out there. But there is also a lot of correct information out there. And you can't sit there and tell me that everyone that reads something online is incorrect because they found it online. What do you expect? Do we got to go through encyclopedias and dictionaries and go to the library like in the olden days? everything that you'll find in a library or encyclopedia is now online, and you can access it simply from your smartphone. How many people have a smartphone in this country? There's more people that have one than don't. You literally have the information in the palm of your hand, but then say that if you found something online, it's bullshit. You can't have it both ways. It's a weird freaking time that we're living in, and people don't understand. I personally believe that most people in, not only in the country, but I believe that most people in the entire world want the same thing. They want to be able to support their families. They want to have peace. They want to make money. They want to live comfortably. But they keep throwing out these bullshit topics to fight about, to keep us fighting and bickering so that they can continue to run the show behind the scenes. You know, they're doing most of everything any government does is behind the backs of the people. And don't even get me started on being a free country, because there ain't nothing free about this country. I love the country. I love my home. I love where I live. But it's not a free country. I just think we're living in a very weird time, a very hypocritical time. Me, myself, I could be a hypocrite on certain things. I admit it, you know. But there are certain people who are just so gung-ho, just so stuck on their beliefs that they think everybody else who disagrees is wrong, and they shouldn't be allowed to have the thoughts that they do. They shouldn't be allowed to do the things that they do. You know, we're getting mad at syrup bottles. We're getting mad at Uncle Ben's rice. Getting mad at just the stupidest shit. What happened to live and let live? You know, you should be allowed to do whatever you want to do, unless you're putting someone else's life in danger or at risk, or unless it's to the point where you're harassing another person or messing up their way of life. If I want to have chickens, if I want to smoke weed at home, you know, if I don't want to wear a seatbelt, if I want to homeschool my kid, there should be no laws against any of that. As long as that you're not hurting another person, you should be allowed to do what you want to do in a free country. But that's not what this is about. This is just about the weird hypocrisy that's going around. People fighting over this two-party system that's both two sides of the same damn coin. You're so pro-American that you won't support a company who supports foreign oil, but everything you own is made in China. Some of these people, even their American flags are made in China, but they won't shop at X store or Y store because of what they support or what they believe. It's bullshit. You know what? I own a business. If politics, any of that crap, my personal views should not matter to my customers, which actually I don't even post anything about my personal views, anything about the business, because all this bullshit cancel culture, everybody gotta hate somebody else and not support somebody else. Companies realistically should keep their views to themselves and not this, you know, I don't know what the word is, the culture, whatever. Culture appropriation, you know, painting Black Lives Matter on the street or on the radio. You know, I own a company and we support Black Lives Matter, or we support gay rights and this and that and the other. I think companies should really just keep their views and opinions to themselves, because realistically, that's not the views and opinions of the company. That's the views and opinions of a small handful of the top people in the company. Certain companies like Amazon or Walmart, you know, they employ hundreds of thousands or millions of people. I'm sure all those people don't have the same views. You're talking just the people with the loudest voice in the company. You're hearing those people's views and opinions. You know, if you boycott certain companies and the whole world boycotted certain companies, you're going to put hundreds of thousands of people without work. It's stupid. It's hypocritical. It just don't make no sense. Live and let live. You should just do what you want to do without harming somebody else, and quit bitching and crying every day. Get off the couch. Quit being on social media looking for something to get mad about. Get up and get your ass to work. Take care of your family. I literally had someone tell me a few weeks ago that they're not going to bust their ass and break their back for $20 an hour, that they'd rather sit at home and get fat and do nothing because they're worth more than that, right? That same person I tried hiring to do some insulation work for me, and he would work for an hour and a half and leave. He'd have to come back the next day. Next day he'd come back hours later than he was supposed to, work another 2 or 3 hours, and then he'd have to leave and come back. This dude ain't worth $10 an hour, and he's telling me that he's not gonna bust his ass for $20 an hour because he's worth more than that. What kind of entitled shit is that? There are so many jobs right now, so many ways that you can go out there. I tell you what, you go and do a day's worth of work, not only are you going to sleep better, you're going to feel better, and you're going to make money to support your family, and you're going to feel better at the end of it, instead of sitting on your ass, collecting a check from the government, getting food stamps and everything paid for, free stay. That you're going to be depressed. I know people like that, and they are depressed. They have no mission in life. They have no willpower to do anything, and they're just miserable. If you go out there and you bust your ass and work and take care of your family, you're gonna have that accomplishment because you did something, and you did something productive, and you're gonna feel better because of it. You're gonna make money because of it, and you're gonna have a better life because of it. Get off your ass and quit crying and thinking the world owes you something. The world doesn't owe you nothing. But again, you know, sorry for my rant. It's just a lot of thinking I've been doing recently. I just think it's just weird, you know, this country, this world, it's wacky right now, you know.